Shalom, this is Daniel Stern, broadcasting from Jerusalem, Nativia Bible Instruction Ministry. We are here in the middle of the war, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about United States President Joe Biden's visit to Israel, flash visit. He came on Wednesday. He landed at 10 in the morning. He left at 3 in the afternoon. Maybe it was 5, a little delay. He did not experience any air raid sirens and having to run to the bomb shelter. Thank God. I say that because he has shown us that his abilities to run are limited. Nevertheless, why did he come? What did he do? Was it good for Israel? Or as we say in Hebrew, Ha'im ze tov laYehudim? Is it good for the Jews? Well, you'd think it is. You know, the U.S. has sent 2 aircraft carriers to the coasts in the area. And when I say aircraft carrier, of course, I mean a floating armada with planes and marines and submarines and everything. Additionally, it was reported that a command and control ship is coming to Israel. On board is a 3-star admiral, which is 2 ranks higher than the admirals on board the aircraft carriers, 1 rank lower than the chief of staff. This is a very high-ranking officer on one of the only 2 command and control ships in the U.S. Navy. It is the flagship of the 6th Navy. And all of this indicates vast support for the army, for Israel, against its enemies. Whether it's preventive measures, whether it's deterrent measures, who knows? Joe Biden came to Israel. Hooray! Was it good for Israel? I don't know. Part of his visit was to force Israel to allow for humanitarian ceasefires, humanitarian corridors, entrance of humanitarian goods to Gaza, all these wonderful things that in fact are nothing more than the opportunity for the Hamas to rearm and regroup and attack more viciously. They've already been restricting their residents from moving into safe zones, using the industrial goods that are meant for humanitarian uses, such as water pipes for missiles. They've been stealing the goods from the UN shelters, schools, and whatnot. There is nothing good about humanitarian ceasefires when you're in the middle of a war. But when Israel is forced to not do what it wants to do, to not start the invasion of Gaza, the ground assault of Gaza, I do not see it as something positive. I don't feel that Joe Biden's visit contributed anything to Israel. On the northern front, one might say that Joe Biden's visit is meant as a deterrent to Hezbollah and Iran, but frankly, it's only a matter of time before the Hezbollah is involved in this war, and we will have to deal with them in a way to prevent a copy of what happened in the south. And delaying and delaying and delaying is what we've done for years, and it does not work. The Israeli army, known as the IDF, the Israel Defense Force, has been for many decades working under a conception of defense. Now, defense is good, but all the Iron Dome and the Patriots and the David Sling and all these different things do not win wars. They allow us to minimize our casualties in order to allow us to not win a war, to keep the war ongoing, to keep the terror going, to keep our civilians in fear. And this has to change. We cannot be the Israel Defense Force. We have to be the Israel Offense Force. We have to be the Israel Army. The United States Army isn't the U.S. Defense Army. The German Army, as it exists, isn't the German Defense Army. They are just the army. And the army is there to win a war. Diplomacy is just the continuation of violence in other means. It's just same track. And we, at this point in time, are forced to use violence in order to win this war. Support us, pray for Israel. God bless you all. Shalom. Help our soldiers, help our people, help Israel.